coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Hey man, shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. As you can see, DC is in the building. You understand me? And we got my man, the little big homie, Eyone Williams, DC Blacks, and we gonna chop it up today with him, man. First of all of y'all go follow him. Make sure you go check out his page, man. He's doing his thing over there, and you already know supporting is important, man. So let's get it. Salute, champ. What's up?
Salute, man. Appreciate you, Banky, man. Thank you for having me, man. Shout out to all your whole nation out there. They've been coming to my Instagram and my YouTube, so I appreciate the love. I can't remember everybody, but I know Chocolate Wonder. I believe she's from Detroit. She always comes to lead a boxing glove, and 2 or 3 other people. Sorry that I don't remember all the names, but I remember her name because every time I'm on your platform, she put the boxing glove up too, so I know it. But every time they come in, they say TBP.
That's what it is, man. That's what I let them know, man. Supporting is important, man. And they know if I rock with somebody, man, they know they need to be supporting them people, man. That's how we got to do. Got to spread the love, man.
Yeah, and Banky, I appreciate you for taking me on bruh's show name. What's bruh's name again?
Oh, Michael Kaya, man.
Michael Kaya. That's how you say it? Michael Kaya, but yeah, shout out to bruh.
Yeah, with the woo, yeah, man. That's my man's. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know, I actually watched that show while we was on there. Like, I didn't just sit here and wait for you. I watched the show. I laughed. I raised my eyebrow. I learned. You know, because he run a show. I was telling my woman, I said, man, he got a real. She said, what you mean, like the sounds? And I say, it ain't just the sounds, it's the production, it's the walkthrough, it's the blueprint. Like he got a schedule. I like that.
Yeah, and he got I think he got an iHeart radio show too. He you know, he well accomplished, man. If I ain't mistaken,
he's a correct me if I'm wrong. He's a contemporary comedian as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. He one of the biggest in the game, man. And you know, a lot of people they know his face and don't know the name because he been around so long. But he the first host of Comic View. He played on Martin and Gina. He was Gina's boss. He played in Kid and Play. You know what I'm saying? He was the one chasing Kid with the girl and the dogs. Yeah, he been around, man. He just looked different. He got a different look.
Yeah, my bad. So excuse my ignorance.
Yeah, he just got a different look with that big old beard, man. He usually be clean shaven and stuff, man. But real solid dude, man. Real good dude, man. Humble, gracious, man, and generous dude, man. So, man, telling people about you, man, a little bit who people who don't know, man. Tell them who Eyone Williams is in DC Black Movement.
All right, now on your show, I might be a little bit more long-winded. I ain't know how much time we had on his show, but
we got whatever
on the Banky Pound platform.
Yeah,
Eyone Williams, you know, is an author, a film producer. At this point, among other things, I guess we could also say that, you know, I'm a prison reform activist. There's a couple titles that I don't really throw around that other people throw around, but those 3 I gotta throw around because that's what I do every day. Going back to the beginning, that's just to give you like what I do right now. But going back to the beginning, I was just a regular youngin' that was caught up in the streets in DC in the early 90s when DC was the murder capital. That comes with a whole bunch of BS in itself. I ain't gonna sit here and glamorize or glorify that. You know what come with that. Most people do. But I found myself charged as an adult at 16, and I was sent to DC jail. If anybody know anything about jails and prison systems, DC, the Department of Corrections that was, the jail, and how they sent us all to the feds, it's a, let's say, a very challenging situation. You know, we can even use the word violence. So, you know, I was introduced to the prison system at that age and that level. I ended up getting 15 to life, which is what's called an intermediate sentence. So that means that, you know, your back number is life. That's what you can do. You may be paroled in the front number. From there, I was sent to Lorton at 17. I stayed in Lorton. For those that don't know what Lorton is, Lorton was the prison system for the local offenders in DC. However, everybody in Washington, DC that's charged with a felony is prosecuted by the United States Attorney's Office. So you know what that means as well. And from Lorton, after Lorton closed, where I left Lawton before Lawton closed, actually. Lawton closed in 2001, the last person left out. Myself, along with other inmates and prisoners and convicts, or whatever term you want to use, we left in 97 and went on the road. Technically, I don't know of any other situation in history where there was a bunch of nomadic prisoners roaming the highway for years with no prison to be confined in. So
right.
In the process of that, I mean, we can go into that too. A lot of people, when I say it in passing, people don't understand it. But from Lawton, I ended up going to, not just by myself, I mean, truck bus loads of us, 40s. They used to call us the Dirty 40 because we pulled up on 2 buses of 40 everywhere we went. Right. I don't know if you heard that, but in the feds, some guys that was locked up and some prison officials used to say the Dirty 40s come in here. And you're like, what's the Dirty 40s? That's the 2 buses of 40s with the DC inmates on it. So I ended up in Ohio, Youngstown, Ohio. That joint was a travesty of incarceration. They didn't know what they was doing. They put dudes together that had separations. They put dudes together that had killed family members and dudes that had done all type of things to each other, and they just dumped us in one bowl and told the people in Ohio that we were all minimum. That was a lie. And so from Ohio, I ended up in New Mexico, Arizona, and then from Arizona, this was these prisons I'm talking about right here. This was about a 4-year journey in these private prisons for me. Other people have been in other places in far more serious situations. I'm almost say bad situations, like some of those things that go on in Virginia. And I hope we could get to some of them because I got some questions I wanted to ask you before we left too. But we went to the feds. I went to the feds in 2001. So I stopped in Colorado for transit. I stopped in Memphis for transit. We did some time in the hole in Leavenworth and then ended up in this place called Sussex, Virginia. Sussex 2, as a matter of fact, right across the street from where death row was at that time. You remember that?
Yeah.
John Allen Muhammad right across the street while we was there. And
so what year you was there?
In Sussex 2?
2002.
I got to Sussex 2 in 2001.
2001. When you leave?
I left in 2002, the very next year. I stayed there 13 months waiting for placement in the U.S. penitentiary.
That's crazy because I actually was there when you was there. I came on the first 40 people.
Oh, so listen, bro. A brother was on there talking the other day on my joint, and I was talking about you, and I was talking about Virginia. Matter of fact, we could go into this right here. Have you heard about these 12 prisoners at Red Onion that had to set themselves on fire?
Yes.
All right, so I don't want to reiterate that if you hip to that and you talked about that, but we was talking about that on my platform, and a brother was like, damn, Eyone, you was there at that time. So I listened to Virginia places I've been, and he started speaking about Mecklenburg and Rollins Ridge, and we got to Sussex 1 and 2, and he said he was there. And in the process of him saying he was there, he said what you said. He said, yo, I started coming in when y'all was leaving out. It was still DC guys there. I was in the last unit. I think I was in 4B. I don't quote me on that, but the last unit for me might have been 4B, right? And I done been to 100 units since then, so I could be wrong. But we were the last DC guys in the unit, and Virginia guys have started, Virginia prisoners, I ain't gonna say Virginia guys, but Virginia prisoners, and start coming in, filling up the other units to take over. So we probably was on a compound together at that time, because I didn't leave until about August of that year. I got there like, Aaliyah died. Matter of fact, yeah, Aaliyah might have passed away 2001 August. I got to Petersburg the day she passed, and 2 days later we went to Sussex. That's how I remember. And then 9/11 happened while we was in Sussex. So yeah, 2002 we left. So I left in August of 2002. So was you there then?
I can't remember the month I got there, but I do know for a fact they was bringing them in, like you say, we're bringing us in too in 40s, right? So when they was bringing us in, they was putting us on the top tier. Then the next 40 come in, they was putting them in on the bottom tier. So I came on the first bus of the first 40 people there. I was with the first 80 that got there. You understand? I can't remember what block we was on, but I remember being there, and I know they still had, you know what I'm saying, the DC dudes there. So, because the side we was on, the DC dudes was on the other side. Exactly. Right? And they was coming out at nighttime cleaning up and stuff.
Right? They still had the detail jobs.
Yeah, and I can't remember shorty's name, man, but you know, so at that time, I'm the only joker that was in there. dudes from DC. So I seen them coming over there late night, and they was cleaning up, and I was calling Youngin over there. I said, man, let me holler. Boom. So we get to chopping it up and stuff. I think he was from Northeast. So we chopping it up and stuff. But, you know, at the time, they ain't give us no, we ain't had nothing, man. They dragged us. We ain't end up getting our property like 2 or 3 months later, right? They was coming around getting jokers 2-pack of cigarettes and a lighter and all of this crazy stuff, but they was dragging us for real. So Youngin was telling me, man, they got to leave. They can't take their TVs. They can't take nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was like, we can't take none of the stuff. So Youngin bought me a TV over there. Young, so shout out to Young. I'm mad I can't remember his name. He bought me a TV because he knew some people that I knew. He bought me a TV. He bought me some food and everything. So I'm like one of the only jokers over there. I'm hiding the TV because, you know, they coming around. We ain't got nothing. We hiding the little, TV.
Right, so it's constant.
Yeah. I'm hiding the TV, watching the TV, man. Me and my celly in there, we got a little food because Young came over there with the food. Man, we was, you know what I'm saying, better than most up in there. But I was there with the first 80 people, young. That's crazy. We was actually on the same joint at the same time.
Yeah. I mean,
that's great.
I told somebody, like, man, you know, when a shout out to my homegirl Melissa, she the first one that really told me about you, right? We was at
shout out to her, man.
Yeah, we was at one of them re-entry zones with Eric Weaver, Smooth, a lot of people that do some of the more active work, let's say, you know.
Right.
He just kept telling me about it, so I went to look at it. I was like, damn, I said, what did time in that Virginia system? And I was speaking that, like, I done been to some of the, I ain't talking about prisoner rough. Like if we was talking about that, we going to different. But I done been to a lot of rough staff type zones, races, not doing things like that. Now Sussex, I know that's not the worst that Virginia has to offer, but it was the worst I had ever seen in my whole bid when I got there. And I had been to listen at the time, like I wasn't no new jack. I had been to Leavenworth. I had been to Colorado. I had been to old federal prisons. I never seen nothing like what they was doing down there in Virginia. Like even the psychological approach. Now, I know that they said, and you could trim the fat off of this for me, right? They said that just like in the feds in Ohio, that before we got there, DC and other people, the U.S. Marshal Service, was telling Virginia, like, look, y'all know what's up with these guys. Y'all dealt with these guys, these Lorden guys, woo. So when we got there, they was on a tip like they had to prove to us that they wasn't going for nothing. So they had shotguns, Rottweilers, riot guns. They had all this stuff out there. So when I pulled up, when we pulled up, like I just kind of seen it, and I ain't gonna lie to you, Baggy man, it made me imagine what slavery was like.
I try to tell people, man, and they did the same thing, right? Because whatever the numbers is, I know I got locked up 87, so I'm getting there in 2002. However many years that was, I had already been locked up that amount of time, already in foreign land when I come in, you know. So I already got to do this, that, and the third. You know, they got a certain, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of them, they got a certain stigma with DC dudes. So I already got to go through all that. I'm already established who I am is who I am. They know who I am. So I done dealt administration, all that. When I got there, Joe, and I seen the way they was out here lined up these guns and these dogs and the way they jerking jokers off the bus, man, I had hives, though. Because I'm like, you know what I'm saying? They might have to kill me on this joint. So it was crazy. They was taking jokers off. And then it was taking you in the room. They got 4 or 5 dudes in there with the rag gear on, and they got the camera, and they trying to, you know, make you get naked and squat call, woo, all this crazy stuff.
And they was doing the shave your head thing.
Yeah, they was wilding.
Yeah,
but they was wilding on this jump, and you right. And I tell people, and then believe it or not, when you go up, Wallace Ridge, Red Onion, and they worse. So.
That's why I said I know that's not the worst they had all, because you know they sent my homies to Red Onion and Wallace Ridge. Yeah,
them Jones there. That's when I use the analogy like you use. I say, bro, being on this joint is like it's a ever running episode of Roots. It's like Roots, man. They coming on the speaker calling you the N-word. They you know what I'm saying, they talking to you like in regular conversation, like me and you talking and using the N-word like it ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, hey, boy, you got to have the patience of Job up there because once you get up there, your main objective is to get off there alive.
Yeah.
You understand me? Because
trash
they was killing jokers up there and getting away with it, man. They was covering it up. They do all of that. So even the go hardest brothers out there, they will murk you, dog. They will in you, and they gonna make it look like you did some, like attack an officer or something like that. So I'm aware of all of this. But man, I'm telling you, Joe, it was hard to swallow, man. And then they got the gangs up there. They working with the gang members. They don't like you. They had so much pressure on them about all the violence that they was inflicting upon jokers up there that they being looked at. Yeah, so they being looked at. So now what they would do, their go-to was you standing up for yourself, like especially if you a paper pusher or anything like. I think they ain't like the paper pushers because they couldn't read up there. They was illiterate, right? So real talk, they was illiterate, dog. They ripped the joint up right in front of you, grievances and everything, because they couldn't even read it. So if they know you pushing paper, right, they'll go to the gang people and tell them to go bust you up. They ain't gonna shoot them. Say after you finish stomping them, beat them, just get out of the way. We gonna shoot them. Yeah.
Right. So, you just made me think about some stuff, man, with that right there, because we was hearing all type of stuff about Sussex. Like people was dreading to go there, like from other places. We was in private prison while we was waiting. But I don't know if you ever heard of this story. This happened in Sussex too. So we got a homie by the name of Ty Johnson. Unfortunately, he lost his life in Pollock in a knife fight. He one of them old school convicts, right? So leaving Lawton, he slammed the knife. Do I got to break that down?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. That you can break it down for them though.
No, that's what I'm asking. I know you know. For lack of a better term, some people like in law enforcement they may call it keystering, but
down here they call it suitcase.
Okay, I heard suitcasing in the feds. In Lawton they used to call it slamming. But if they write it up in a shot, they're gonna use the word keystering in the feds. Right. I don't know what they may have used in the real writing in Virginia. But let's get to the point. Right. Many people that know about like stereotypical information about DC. We're gonna skip some of the stereotypes, but another stereotype that they have is that we tote knives everywhere. This homie, he knew how to secrete a knife into his rectum and travel with it. Let's say it like that. Right. When we got to Sussex too, some of us that had violent charges, attempted escapes, and different stuff like that, we were being transferred from what's called maximum jump. So we had the black boxes on our wrists and stuff. Right. When we got off the bus, some of us was snatched off the bus and put to the side in another line. I just so happened, unfortunately, to get put in that line. We went through process and we get to the hole. A lot of dudes had beefs with the police down there because of things we heard and what we wasn't going for and what they wasn't going for. So they came to the homie Ty cell, and I don't really remember how the altercation started, but they were saying that he needed to cuff up and come out the cell and do all these other things. Some type of way he cuffs up and comes out the cell, and they on, you know how they get the beat in their chest. Yeah, I don't know if they had ever seen this type of activity or what, because I know Virginia got a lot of stuff that go on in there. So in a maximum jumps, they shouldn't know about the dudes that could come out the handcuffs. He comes out the handcuffs, gets the knife, produces the knife. Now I don't think he got the knife out the suitcase at that time. I think he already retrieved his luggage and had it. But when they came out the cell, the last thing the Virginia Department of Corrections was thinking about was a knife. They thought somebody was gonna be fist fighting. He came out the handcuffs and put the knife. I want to say a captain, but I ain't sure that was a captain because all of them had on white. But it was a lieutenant and up. And put the knife in him. Like they had never seen nothing like it. So like some of them reputations they got with us, they was I guess they was hard earned. You know what I'm saying? This rep I'm talking about, Ty Johnson. Like I said, he lost his life in Pollock. If they did their homework on him, he slinged the knife on convict or police all alike. It don't matter. But that was my first introduction to the Virginia system. Him putting the knife in one of the police.
And see, the thing about it was this how green they be, and they be thinking they on top of stuff, right? Now this the green part of the equation. When they open up prisons like this, they get the administration more or less like the warden, lieutenant, some of the lieutenant sergeants. They been around in the system. 90% of the staff, man, is new. They don't know nothing. They doing what, that's why they so aggressive, because this is how they was trained and this is what they was told to do. They think this is how their job is. They think they can talk to jokers the way they talk. Yeah, like you got to do this, that, and the third. They don't even never factor in that a joker got forever in a day and he ain't going for none of that. You know what I'm saying? And he willing to wage war and to die. They don't realize that until it's too late. So that's why a lot of the situations got twisted up in these type of new institutions. They was really opening these, especially when you get to the Wallace Ridge and Red Onion scenario, because they placing this in a rural area that you know what I'm saying, and how there ain't no black or brown people up there, period. So these people don't even deal with, you know what I'm saying, black and brown people. They don't even like us. They got a prejudice towards us. So then when you give them power over us, it's automatically they're going to abuse it. You know, they walk around chewing tobacco, spitting out tobacco, and, you know, females up there chewing snuff and tobacco. Females, though, talking to you with this stuff in their mouth. Yeah, your sound went out. But, yeah, see if you get it back in. I can't hear you.
Muted. I was saying something. I'm still
yeah. So they doing all of this type of stuff. Yeah, I can hear you. So it was crazy, man. So
I had muted it. I had muted it. I was saying something. That's my bad. But
yeah, but they don't have no penology, man. They just give them a job.
Another thing I seen when I was in Virginia that I never seen nowhere, man, they fire them guns indoors and outdoors when anything going on. Like in the feds, I ain't gonna act like they don't fire that drone out the tower. Right. Like if you go down outside and I know it or I don't know it outside, I could figure it out.
Yeah.
You've been to Virginia, them child halls in the Virginia. Well, let me say Sussex too. I don't know about all of Virginia.
They like that.
Okay, they like phone booths to me. And the dude with the shotgun is right there over top of you when you walk in the door. So, for an example, the dudes that got into it the day that I was there, they was right behind me. When he got the fire and the shotgun inside the kitchen, even though it ain't touch me, it ain't hurt me. Like my ears, my body, everything felt it. It still traumatized me. Like, you know, it's different when you're on the streets, even if you don't have a weapon and shots go off. You prepared, like in a closed environment like that, just the sound of it will send the fear of God through you. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do. There's nowhere you can go.
Yeah, you know I mean? It's the same thing. You put it dead on the money, because that's how I felt. I'm like, man, these jokers shooting on the inside.
You know what I'm saying? Inside, man.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
I seen them shoot a buddy of mine in the face, right? So of course they couldn't have had buckshot in there. They had something else in there in the unit, but they messed the whole side of his face up, shot him in the face, whatever they had in there, beanbag or whatever. But I done seen them shoot and down a dude in Virginia.
Oh yeah. Listen, bro, me neither. Up until that point, I was the same way. I had been on Jones. They got the gun, but it's outside. It's on the tower, all this and all that. I hadn't been nowhere. They got them jumps in there. So
So that's why I asked you that. So in other Jones you had been to before there, they wasn't.
Nah. All them Jones, when they built all them new Jones, Sussex 1, Sussex 2, King Mountain, River North, Wallace Ridge, Red Onion. These Jones is level 4, 5s, and 6s. They ain't they 5s and 6s. They ain't got them Jones on the regular Jones. Before they made them, these was considered the Supermax. Before they made them, maximum was like, you know what I'm saying, a level 3, a level 4. They didn't even really have levels, but that's maximum prison. You know what I'm saying? I never been to under a 3 ever in my whole bit. They wouldn't even allow me to go. So, but all of them Jones, they ain't got nothing but the billy clubs and the little stun gun, the shock shield, all that, and they got the guns in the tower or whatnot, but it ain't on the infrastructure of the prison. So when I get to Sussex 2, and as we even going to the block, I'm seeing these jokers. I'm looking up, I'm seeing a gun. I'm seeing a gun right there. They say that's the kitchen. I see dude on the walkway on top of the building. So when we get in and I get in the booth and I see the joke up in the booth and I see the holes in there, I'm like, oh, they got guns on the inside of this joint. And they talking about, yeah, if you cross this line, we shoot you. You raise your voice, we shoot you. You get aggressive, we shoot you. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do up here. We shoot you, then we gonna put the dogs on you. I'm like, these Bama's tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you said they said about shooting you on the inside. Another thing that was amazing to me about Sussex too was that they had these lines that you wasn't supposed to cross. So they had the yellow line. The yellow line is supposed to get you a warning, but the dude specifically pointed out the red line to get you shot. It made me think about the movie Life. I was like, damn, they got a line that if you cross it, they can shoot without asking.
The gun line, boss.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I seen, you know, even with those rules, you still dealing with humans and not dogs, so you can talk. I seen them shoot a guy that inadvertently crossed the red line. Like they could have told him, hey, back up. In the process of what they was doing, they was talking to him. And he crossed the line in the process of their conversation, blah, 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 crossed, and they fired, boom. I mean, they ain't hit him they ain't hit him up top, they hit him low, but they fired. And I was like, damn, she talking to him while they fired.
Bruh, they was trigger happy on these joints. You got to imagine the psychology, right? They giving people jobs at this joint fresh off the high school. Women putting a gun in the women's hands, putting them in the booth. Woman going home, Joker been beating her 2-3 years and she can't do nothing about it. And you get up in there, you say something smart to her, and then she got a gun in her hand and she can pop. You know what I'm saying? It's insane the way they doing this. You know what I'm saying? I seen a joke get hit at the microwave. You know what I'm saying? He get hit at the microwave because he joking. The dude telling man, So he started cracking jokes on him because he was like, stand in line, don't go across there till it's your turn in the microwave. He was like, man, shut up, man. You a rookie. You ain't got to tell me. I know what I'm doing. So he was like, all right, well, you better not cross that joke. He said, man, shut up, man. And he just going at him. So dude started laughing. So I guess he got in his feelings. He kind of felt embarrassed. So when the dude time came to cross the line to get to the microwave, as soon as he crossed there, he cocked the joke. He said, man, what you doing, man? Ain't nobody over here but me, man. You better not shoot me. And you a punk. Yeah, you a punk. Better not Blah! Shot him. In front of everybody, man. Everybody was like, oh, we jumped down on the ground. I'm like, man, this joker crazy. Shot the dude, man. He started hollering, screaming. He said, oh, you shot me, B. You shot me. Yeah, that's it for you. I'm suing y'all. I'm suing y'all. And he just cocked the joke. He realized he messed up, but he did it. You know what I'm saying? And that's too much power to put in untrained, unstable people's hands, man. He couldn't even take being embarrassed, though, so he shoot a joker. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of stuff you was dealing with. But the whole time, I'm processing this information, and I'm saying, man, I'm in the twilight zone, Joe. I got to get from up here. That's my main objective, is to get from up here, man, because it was the worst. I put it in my videos, man. It was the worst place I ever been all of my 33 years being up there in the mountains, man.
You talking about all of them together, right?
All together, bro. I ain't never dealt with that. And I've been on jokes where they was like, I was in the wall. My second stop was the wall. That was the most vicious.
The wall? What's that? Rollins Ridge?
500 Spring Street. That's where all the viciousness took. That's the most.
500 Spring Street. Where that's at? I don't know where that's
500 Spring Street in Richmond, Virginia. It was originally the state penitentiary.
That was the pen. That's the Virginia penitentiary. They used to fight Norton.
Yeah. I went right there from receiving, Joe. They sent me. I went to receiving. I ain't even finished receiving. I got fighting. They sent me straight there.
That's equivalent to the wall down Lawton.
Yes, that's the same joke.
Yeah. I read about that, John. That was before my time. When did they close that?
They closed it when about less than a year after I left, and I left like in 88. So it probably closed at the end of 88. They closed it.
Yeah, because sometime in the 80s, Lawton used to come down there and fight those guys, and those guys used to go to the wall and fight the guys.
Yes, yeah. That's where the legend of Sam Pitts come into play. Sam Pitts used to be the heavyweight from out the wall.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like the only one that rumor had to me, it passed down to me, is like he was like the only one when they went to Lorton that may come out there with a victory. Everything else got slaughtered.
Yeah, whenever we get a conversation with you on Fly, you got to dig into that form, because it's questions that you can ask that I'm not gonna ask. But you say Sam Pitts.
Yes, Sam Pitts.
I'm gonna try to give me some research on Sam Pitts, because he mentioned a couple guys from down there that had names in Lorton.
Yeah, Sam Pitts was like he was a heavyweight in the day. Like when I come in, that's the name that was ringing. But his name was
from Richmond, or he was just from Virginia.
He from Virginia. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's from the 757, right? But like, if you know, like you know how like Fly name ring in the face and all over, Lord, he probably is in that system, in that Virginia system.
He on that same level.
His name rings supreme, man. He feared by the convicts.
He's still alive?
He died, bro. They let him die. They didn't even want him to ever get out, because everything in the pen, he done did it. Against the police, he done did it. They ain't never wanted to get out, so he caught lupus, and he was dying from lupus. And you know, if you know anything about lupus, it's a deteriorating disease, and the life expectancy is like 5 years after diagnosis. He lived with that joint for like 27 more years, and he was deteriorating. Went from a big 6'2", 6'3", 250 pounds solid. His nickname was The Rock. All the way down to the last time I personally seen him, he was like 90 pounds on a cane, lost most of his teeth, most of his fingers, toes. He could barely move, but the spirit in him, he was still moving around. You know what I'm saying? And they let him die, man. He died in the penitentiary, man, after 40-some years. But vicious, respected brother. Not to be played with under no circumstance. You know?
Yeah. I gotta do my research on him.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I had something that popped in my head that I wanted to share with you while we was on here. Because a lot of times, you know, people tell stories and it make you understand the mentality of people. One thing that I remember them Sussex police tried to do with us, they tried to control us with those TVs. This before we had the TVs in our cell at the time. Remember you said how long it took property to come? So
right.
We was coming from a institution, just this block that they put us in. We was all coming from institution where you didn't have personal TVs, no way, okay?
Right.
So we was accustomed to watching the two TVs that's out in the common area, on the floor, whatever you want to call it there, right? And I don't know what was up with this police. I can't really give you a background on the CO because we was just getting there. And remember, before we got there, we already had the same internal conversations that I guess the administration had. We ain't going for this and we ain't going for that. Man, the police tried to cut our wreck short. This is the first demonstration I participated in Sussex too. Yeah. They tried to cut our wreck short. You know, they was doing that corporal punishment type shit. One dude was late doing something, coming through the door. He talking about wreck over. Dudes was a little disgruntled about it, but dudes started going in. Wasn't nobody on no unified, front. Right. We not going in or we bucking at the time. To be honest with you, I don't think the guys in the unit, I don't think we knew each other well enough to unify that moment, because they had brought some guys from Lorton, they had brought some guys from Arizona, they had brought some of us from we was all homies, but we hadn't been bidding together. Like I hadn't seen this guy in 11. You know how that go. But once we got in the sales, dudes started talking like, man, who the we going for this bitch? We going for this and going for that. And dudes talk now. Now dudes saying, yo, they trying to curry us. NBA playoffs or something was on. I never forget it. That was the whole big old beef. Like dudes wanted to watch the game. You know how that go. But the police in the bubble wanted to watch the playoffs as well.
Yeah.
This is where they got us messed up at, bro. When we realized that they weren't gonna let us watch the game and they was gonna watch the game, you know what we did, right? So we come out on the next come out. They said they just gonna give us showers and phone calls, so they took direct. All right, we come out on the next jump, unplug the TVs. They tell me, what y'all doing? Y'all touching the TV. This the police now. This ain't us.
Right.
Saying unplug the TVs. So I ain't gonna mention this one brother name. He was a little older at that time. He was like, unplug the TVs? Bro, we ain't just unplugging the TVs. Then we took the TVs off the stand, bust the TVs on the ground. Boom, boom, boom. They get the busting in that junk. Everybody running around the gas. You know, they dropped the jumps out of the ceiling. We ended up taking all the TVs. It was only but 2 TVs, but we destroyed the TVs, went back in there. By the next week, we got our properties and personal TVs in that same institution, bro.
Yeah.
But we weren't gonna watch the game down there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna watch. Yeah. But see, that's what. But see, that's the school of doing time like that we come from. But see, like as time went on, that's what we used to be trying to tell these youngins, man, because they start taking for everything. Did them jokes at 4-4 before I got in there, and them jokes at 4
when they taking, bro.
Yeah, but they don't do that though. You know what I'm saying? They started bro. When I first came in, bro, we got, man, you can wear your own clothes, though. You get people to buy your clothes from on the street. You can order street clothes. I'm in there wearing street clothes. I hadn't even wore state clothes, man. Probably, man, all the way up until 98, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but everybody was saying that junk was just like Lawton. So you was getting jeans and shirts like you.
Man, I got F up hair. I got hoodies. I got Mellows. I got LeBrons. I got Super Tims. And then they got to complaining so much. The police got to complain. Because jokers was pulling them CO bras. So they were like, yeah, well, y'all got us looking like clowns. We the one dress all alike and all us got to wear the same uniform. You got these dudes walking. Man, I had a female counselor pull up on me one day, just out the blue, just start talking to me about a caseload. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, man, and I'm listening to it. And she was like, yeah, well, like, you got Eyone on your caseload, like Eyone Williams. And see, I know he in your building. I see you in that building. She thinking I'm the counselor of that building. Because she never saw me with state clothes
on. Never saw you in no institution gear.
Yeah, and I'm like, I said, well, what did you? I said, who do you think I am? She said, ain't you the counselor in 8 building? I said, no, since I'm a convict. She said, stop playing, touch me and everything. Stop playing. I said, hey man, you get fined. I'm a convict over there. Yeah, because we on the boulevard. And she was in shock, man. She just couldn't believe it. She said,
what institution? This was in the
This was on Greensville in the 90s, right?
The banky special.
Yeah,
pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.